Are you familiar with this book? The textbook of orthopedic medicine by Dr. James Syriacs, published in 1982. Well, actually, this book for me was my first eye-opener at the beginning of my career. It was really a very important stepstone towards more objective clinical reasoning, diagnosis, and treatment strategy. And actually, it still is today. But my personal story started already a little bit earlier, before I went to university to study physiotherapy. My father, Bob de Koning, he was also a physio, and he was passionate about musculoskeletal medicine and manual therapy. And he got in contact with James Syriacs somewhere at the end of the 60s. And to make a long story short, he became one of the first official Syriacs teachers over here in the mainland. And even in this book, Syriacs mentioned on a certain page teaching facilities in orthopedic medicine, and he says, in Belgium, weekend courses are given by physiotherapist Robert de Koning for doctors and physiotherapists, and including the address of my father. So you can imagine, when I was younger, I grew up in an atmosphere of orthopedic medicine, and I would like to share some nice souvenirs with you. I found this old picture. Yeah. What can you see on this picture? Well, this picture has been taken in the clinic of my father, and the guy who is lying on the treatment table, he's my father. And actually, the colleague who was performing some maneuver, he's a colleague from Holland, and he was doing his exam at that moment, and Syriacs was watching. And for certain maneuvers, we need some manual assistance. And if you look carefully at this picture, the yellow guy, who's that? That's me. And I found another picture, also in the clinic of my father, Syriacs watching the colleague doing loose body manipulation in the hip. And I was also happy to assist. And of course, for all my hard work at the end of the day, then I could enjoy a glass of champagne together with Patsy, the wife of Syriacs. Yeah, that's how I grew up. So when people ask me, what are you going to do later professionally? Did I have a choice? Yeah, I had a big example. My father was a huge example professionally. And I went to university, and then immediately I started following courses in orthopedic medicine, and later on a series of other courses, of course. And I also found another nice picture of my very, very first day in clinical practice, my very first official patient as an independent physiotherapist. That was in September 89. Oh, long time ago. Yeah. And I still remember the specific case. It was a young lady suffering from a carpal subluxation, a dorsal carpal subluxation, and a sprain of a dorsal ligament. That was my very first patient. By the way, do you know what the clinical image is of a dorsal carpal subluxation? Well, this is part of the musculoskeletal medicine strategies, and you discover all of this during our courses, of course. But it started with this book long time ago. But you know what happened? Of course, I stepped into the footsteps of my father. I also started teaching courses in musculoskeletal medicine all over the world. And years ago, I was teaching a lot of courses in Brazil. And I also found a nice picture of that. Okay, very nice course group in Brazil. But what is unique about this picture is that there is a particular lady on this picture, a colleague, who was attending my course so many years ago. But what was the result? Or what is the result? This is the result. Actually, we expanded our professional relation and got married many years ago. And today we are still working in clinical practice today. So I wonder if Syriacs would have known this, that my life started with orthopedic medicine and it gave me a beautiful wife, beautiful children, and a lot of professional satisfaction. So it was my pleasure to share this personal story with you, and I hope that in the future you also will experience the same satisfaction and the same professional pleasure as I do. Bye-bye.